A very warm welcome to yet another Kumekucha video. Information and analysis that is very difficult to find anywhere else. I recommend that you subscribe and you hit the bell button so that you receive notifications every time I have a new video. Karibu sana and enjoy. I'm very much aware that many of you were very anxiously waiting for this particular video. And I can assure you, I was not keeping you in suspense. I was just making sure I have all my ducks in a row. Now, the very alarming rumors flying all over the place in Kenya have to do with the events of Saturday, last Saturday, 19th January 2019. That was the day the president attended the burial of his very close friend, a man called Bruce Odhiambo. They were in school together. Yeah, somebody told me they played rugby together. And over the years, they've remained very close. Now, after that particular burial, the president's motorcade headed straight to the airport. Now, the funeral of the late Bruce Odhiambo was in the Koru area, Muhoroni. Now a quick geography lesson. If you're traveling towards Kisumu, there are two routes into Kisumu. One is via Kericho, and the other one is via the very high hills, winding all over the place, until you get to the turnoff, where you turn right and go towards Kisumu. Now, before you reach that turnoff is the Muhoroni area. In fact, if you're driving along that road, you see the Robert Ouko Memorial School on your left. That is the Koru area. So to get to the airport, you have to get back into Kisumu city and then branch and take the road to the airport. So when the president's motorcade had arrived at the airport and the president was preparing to board his plane, meanwhile greeting a few people in there, something strange happened. Raila Odinga called him aside. They had a brief discussion, and then the president abandoned his intentions of entering the aircraft that was going to fly him back to Nairobi. Instead, the president and Raila sped off in two vehicles, minus the motorcade, minus the large presidential security detail. And to be honest, nobody knows where they went. Now people will give you a story about Hyacinth. Yes, the story goes that they inspected the project which Raila had already launched for the removal of the hyacinth on Lake Victoria. But obviously that was a cover story. That was something to cover their real destination and their real reasons for abandoning the flight to Nairobi. The long and short of it is that the president's flight back to Nairobi was delayed for almost 4 hours. Late after about 4 hours, the president flew to Nairobi. Now, what is really puzzling analysts is what was this that was so important that the president had to break protocol, abandon his schedule, abandon his flight, and delay in Kisumu for almost 4 hours. What was so important? Certainly not the hyacinth, as important as that is. So, around these events, some very alarming rumors have been circulating. Now, being able to verify those rumors is virtually impossible. It's very difficult because the two key figures involved, the two most powerful people in Kenya today, are not talking, and I don't think they will talk. And this channel has not gained such a huge following out of spreading speculation and rumors. So we cannot go in that direction. However, we can do something that in my view is even better. Carefully examine the chain of events leading to that Saturday and after, and especially events which are closely linked to the two gentlemen. Trust me, that will tell us a lot. In these times, we have to be very careful because it is very easy to create a very big story where actually there's no story. Or even worse, to miss a very big story because your attention is in the wrong place. I think the best illustration of this is a story I saw on social media. It goes like this. Imagine a situation where Raila and Uhuru have tea together, and in the process of that tea, Raila accidentally drops a tea flask, and it drops down and breaks. According to this hilarious post, this is how the local media would cover that event, or rather that incident. Citizen TV would say Uhuru and Raila hold secret meeting as Raila breaks thermos. NTV would say details of thermos that Raila broke emerge. KTN would say why Raila left Uhuru speechless over thermos flask. The Star newspaper would say Raila breaks flask at breakfast meeting that Ruto was not invited. Mpasho, of course, which is in Kiswahili, would say ameiva kuiva. Huyu ndiye waiter alifanya baba angushe thermos. Quick translation, this is the waiter who caused Raila to drop the thermos. Tuko.co.ke would say rare video of Raila breaking thermos in front of Uhuru. Nairobi News would say hilarious. Kenyans react to reports that Raila broke thermos. Cyprian Nyakundi would say thermos Raila broke in the presence of Uhuru belongs to Anne Waiguru. CNN International would say Kenya's presidential security team in panic after flood explodes on head of state. This comes just days after gunshots and explosions rocked a top hotel in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. Al Jazeera would report explosions had at meeting attended by Kenya's leader Uhuru Kenyatta. And then, of course, Kenya's social media would be very busy breaking thermoses under the hashtag Baba Thermos Challenge. Now, where is the story there? What is the real story there? I think now you get very clearly where I'm going. And what I mean, it's very easy to miss a story, or even to create one where none exists. So on this channel we try very hard to avoid that, and to focus on the things that really matter, even if they're less entertaining. So, very quickly, the next day, the president's brother, Moho, was with Raila, attending the 25th anniversary of the death of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Raila's father. Jaramogi, Kenya's first vice president, passed on 20th January 1994. Now that one made very many people sit up and pay attention, because Uhuru Kenyatta has never been seen in public, has never shared the same function, public function, with Raila Odinga. Never ever. But that happened on Sunday. And then President Uhuru Kenyatta issues an executive order giving CS Fred Matiang'i sweeping new powers to supervise the cabinet and other cabinet secretaries. Gatundu South legislator tells us that actually what Uhuru has done is to appoint a prime minister without a referendum. Most Kenyans see this as yet another plot or attempt to weaken the deputy president, William Ruto, or even to get rid of him altogether. Kenyans see that there will be absolutely no work left for the deputy president. Some Kenyans even cheekily say that now the deputy president will be reporting to Bwana Fred Matiang'i, the new prefect in charge of the cabinet. Then on Wednesday, something very puzzling happens, rather very unexpected puzzling meeting. Raila Odinga meets with Beth Mugo and a man called Gengi Muigai. Now, Raila has hosted Beth Mugo before in his office, together with other politicians from Central Province. However, having both Beth Mugo and Gengi Muigai in his office is significant. For starters, Beth and Gengi are brother and sister, and both are first cousins to the president. Now let's go a little deeper, and this is important. Both Beth Mugo and Gegi Muigai are the children of a man who was called James Ngegi. Now, those who have read my book, Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency, will know that Jomo Kenyatta only had one brother, one sibling only, a younger brother. And there's a very fascinating history. Jomo's dad died when he was very young. And what happened is that Jomo's mom was inherited by a brother to his late father. So his uncle became his stepfather. And his new stepfather did not like Jomo. And Jomo's mom got pregnant again. And she gave birth to a son. This man called James Ngegi. And when Kenyatta was about 6-7 years old, his mother passed on. And Jomo said that was the beginning of hell on earth for him and his younger brother, because their stepfather completely refused to provide for them. And so, penniless Jomo ran away with his responsibility, his younger brother. And he ran away to a place called Dogoto, where his very famous maternal grandfather lived, a man called Kungu Wamagana, a seer, a man who could see to the future. Now the story goes, Jomo, carrying his younger brother on his back, arrived very tired, very exhausted, and it was raining very hard. And of course, Kungu Wamagana had heard about him, but he had never met him. But immediately he saw him at the door to his hut, he started making predictions. He said Jomo would be a great leader, and leadership was in his seed. Anyway, let me not get carried away. My point here is that James Ngegi was this younger brother that Jomo had to fend for when he was very young, when he was still a child himself. And the two were very, very close. James Ngegi died in 1995. He was aged 92 years. He died in Nairobi of a heart attack. And there's more. Since the president was very young, Ngegi Muigai has been very close to him. It is said that Ngegi Muigai also attended Amherst College in the United States, which is the same university that Uhuru went to. And it is Ngegi who strongly influenced Uhuru to attend the same college. The president has also been very close to Beth Mugo, and it is said that she has mentored him in politics from the early days when he entered politics for the very first time. Ngegi Muigai is also a former legislator for Gatundu, the same seat the president once held. So now you know very well who these two people who visited Baba are. And it is important that you do because of what I'm about to say. Now before that, a quick aside. Ngegi Muigai is also brother to Captain Kungu Muigai. You remember the guy who gave a very interesting eulogy at the funeral of the former CS internal, the late Joseph Kaiseri. Kaiseri was very close to Kungu Muigai. They were both in the military. So, let's cut to the chase. What do all these events happening in quick succession tell us, especially in connection to what may have happened on Saturday in Kisumu? Now, the expression that comes to mind is going to surprise you. What I see here is circling the wagons. Circling the wagons, what does that mean? Imagine a train of wagons. In the old days we used to have wagons, which are kind of carriages, and they're drawn either by horses or donkeys or even cows, whatever. You may have seen this in some old cowboy movies. Now, when the entourage notices that they're about to come and attack, the standard procedure in those days was to circle the wagons. The wagons, instead of a straight line, formed a circle to defend themselves. That is where the English expression circle the wagons comes from. And it means to prepare yourself to defend against criticism or an attack of sorts. And why would the president's men be under attack or criticism? Well, it could be because of something they have done or something they're about to do. Now, although there are very many Kenyans who are skeptical, the president has been at the forefront of a very vicious fight against corruption in Kenya. And as powerful as he is, we know that corruption will always fight back. When Mwai Kibaki took office in 2003, he also had very noble intentions. He was very determined to fight corruption. He even commissioned a report. The whole intention was to freeze assets of those who had gained enormous wealth by raiding public coffers. But corruption fought back very hard and defeated Mwai Kibaki. And he had to abandon, that very noble cause he came into office very determined to achieve. President Kenyatta, whatever people want to think, has gone further than any other previous holder of that office of the President of Kenya. But obviously, corruption is fighting back. So we will not dwell on rumors here, those very alarming rumors that were being circulated on social media today. Instead, we'll dwell on solid facts and analysis of what we see. And the true position is that the president and his men are circling the wagons in preparation for what I believe they're about to do, which they expect to draw a lot of criticism from a section of Kenyans. Now, it is highly likely that the first step towards what they want to do is this recent ascension of a man called Fred Matiang'i, who has been given more responsibilities. That is very likely. I'm not saying this is definitely what it is, but I'm just saying it's very highly likely. And especially when you consider the events close to this. Hiko kitu. Translation, there's definitely something here. And I believe whatever it is that happened in Kisumu that we don't know definitely had something to do with circling the wagons. And something else all this drama tells us is that Raila Odinga is very heavily involved. Ordinarily, when you circle the wagons, at least in the old days, you prepare those closest to you. You tell them this and this is about to happen, but don't worry, everything's under control. We have a very strong defense, that will prevail over our enemies. We will of course continue to break this down further in subsequent videos. Until next time, this is Kshs, Kumekucha.